What is up, my Gaggle of Geeks? And welcome to today's episode. I can't say tonight's episode because we're doing this early in the morning. I am, of course, one of the hosts, Patrick, here to talk about some geek crap because there's been so much that's happened. We've not really done a lot, and it's tough to really cut because there's a huge delay in Chaz and how he probably just turned it there. He just turned now. So there's a huge delay on that. There's a bit of a delay with our newest host, Cole. Welcome, both of you, to the show.
Thanks.
We did it.
We did it.
We actually did it. I'm so happy. So yeah, welcome, guys. We have so much to discuss.
Do we though?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot to discuss. I wouldn't say it's important, but there's a lot.
What in this world? What's important, right?
Living.
Wow. All right, let's go from there. Talk about some of the news that have been circling around this week. I want to start with like the newest piece, which I think is very funny. Ezra Miller's fighting the KKK.
Yeah, you told
in
me
a big
to look
bad
that
way.
up. Do you know why?
Because
you
the
know
KKK is
backstory?
bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, but do you know like the backstory of like what started all this?
Well, first of all, Chaz, it's weird that you're already defending the KKK, so I'm going to need you to back off a little bit.
It's early in the morning, man.
Why are you so anti? But it's what I've heard is that, well, let's break down what this actually is for people that don't know. There was a video on Instagram where Ezra Miller, with his flash ring, you can see he kind of like flashes that just a little bit when he's doing, and he specifically names a very very specific group of the KKK, and it's not necessarily just any. And he says you should take your own guns and turn on yourselves, and if you don't, then we'll do it for you. So basically, threatening to kill this whole chapter of the KKK, but doing it with such class and ending it with Cole. What was the best way that he ended? Bye.
Bye.
No. I think
Bring Ezra in to give you some lessons here.
Yeah, well, like why is he posting that? Like what happened? Do we know? Or is he just
Well, there's a rumor first that there was a house fire from one of his either friends or family members that could have been caused by these people. But like at the end of the day, it was really interesting because a lot of people had different reactions. A lot of had similar to, I guess, us, which is, I don't know if it's the same with YouTube, but I just kind of find it funny that like Instagram was the platform to use. And like, I'm calling all you guys out. It reminds me of the videos that I watched from your mom's house, where it's just like, this is absurd. I can't believe that he's doing it. But at the same time, some critics decided to come out and say, either way, he shouldn't have said something bad about the KKK.
why fuck the KKK?
Well, if you could guess any critic that had something to say about this, who would you guess? He's a well-known critic, and it's a he.
Ben Shapiro.
Critic? A film critic?
Oh.
Have you seen some of Ben Shapiro's film takes? He has them.
He does, and he'll recite the entire lyrics to WAP. If don't test him, he does that. He does that in his sleep.
They're all up here,
WAP.
baby.
Watch for wasps.
No, I don't know actually. What publication do they write for?
It's his own thing. He used to be on Collider. He used to be in a couple other things. Actually, the pretty big part of Collider. He did AMC Movie Talk as well. He was the host of that. His first name's a pretty Johnny kind of name. It's John Campia.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know John Campia? Do you know John Campia?
I don't keep.
I
up
was
on
the
my
only
critics.
one that had the new. Okay, well then none of this matters anymore. Let's just move to the next thing.
Wait, what did he say about it though?
Basically that. Just I don't know if this was the right move for Ezra Miller, and violence isn't good at any situation. And just a lot of people like, it's weird to have this hill to die on, John. There's a weird hill to die on. I don't get this.
Yeah.
But what do you think is going to come from this? Is this
Absolutely nothing.
No, that you don't think that
No.
Warner Brothers is reactionary to this kind of stuff?
No.
Ezra doesn't get canceled. The KKK doesn't reform themselves because Ezra Miller, of all people,
But
told
honestly,
them to.
Ezra could do it. Like he could build bridges.
No.
I think he started on the right foot.
Yeah, but then it like went to a 10 real quick.
Bye.
Does Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore starring Ezra Miller get pushed because of this?
Oh, what a shame.
I don't know that, but there could be a chance that like they're not putting him on the press tour for something.
That no, there
No?
will actually be zero ramifications.
Do you
from
think
this,
Amber Heard will
as
be on
there
the press
should not be.
tour for Aquaman 2? That's what. See, that's my serious question, right? Because they took Johnny Depp out, right?
Yeah,
Because of the stuff. So they made a choice right there. Ezra Miller, I don't think has done necessarily that degree of things. I mean, he did choke a fan to the ground. Like that video exists. Even regardless if it seems like he's like helping to cushion the blow, it's like you're still. I think that was an excuse by some of the fans. I was like, what? That's such a weird flex.
Cushion the blow, huh?
Yeah, it was just like, you know, he did it kind of like in Justice League. It was just very soft and gentle, like drop down. What?
That really happened.
Yeah, well, when he saves Iris West in the thing.
Have you seen the Snyder Cut?
You saw Snyder Cut.
Yeah, but who's Iris West?
You don't know who Iris West is?
No.
Do you know
Dude.
who Barry Allen is?
Yeah, he's Flash.
Okay, who does he save?
I don't remember.
That's the one. then that's what it is.
'Cause, like you're talking about saving, and I'm thinking like Andrew Garfield saving Emma
my
Stone
goodness.
or
The
something.
totally new scene where he's like pushing glass out of the way, and it's his girlfriend, and it's the girl that was in Dope in like 2015.
I never saw
and
Dope.
It's a great movie.
You never saw Dope either?
I never saw Dope.
Man,
I
that's
know.
not. That
Speaking
is
of
not
Spider-Man, also starring the voice of Into the Spider-Verse.
good. Oh yeah,
Spider-Man,
Shamik Moore. He
Shamik
plays Miles Morales,
Mhm.
which is probably where they got him from by
And
watching Dope and thinking,
Flash
oh, wait, he works well."
Thompson is also in Dope.
Oh yeah, he
who's-
is. That's true. That's two Spider-Men from there.
Who's Flash Thompson? Is that the bully?
Kid from Grand
the bully
Budapest.
in Homecoming and stuff. Yep.
Mhm.
But is that all we want to talk about with this?
With that,
You sure we can't milk Ezra Miller for like 10 more minutes?
Moving on. Let's move into a little bit less controversial news. Evangeline Lilly was seen was seen at a anti-vax rally. Actually, posted photos of herself at the rally, and this was, I believe, in DC.
Yep.
And she's essentially saying, "I ain't about that Fauci ouchie." And now we're demonetized from YouTube, just to let you know, because we had to bring this up. What do you think about, she's not the first person in the Marvel Universe to do this. We've heard a lot of on-set stuff about Letitia Wright with Wakanda Forever.
That's one that actually is. I worry about Wakanda Forever.
Oh, dude, we're all worried about I like, for more reasons than just like, can they pull it off? It's just like, is everybody in there okay? Because it just seems like this film has been filming for months at this point and keeps getting cut down for things. But
Coogler's going to need a break. Coogler's going to need a nice little like.
Yeah, I agree. But Evangeline Lilly, she decided, I'll wait until Quantumania is finished filming, then I'll go. So I guess her approach was a little better. But I don't know, guys. This is one of the stars of Lost. I've grown up with this actress, and it's a little disheartening to see. And it's not necessarily that she's saying I'm completely against vaccinations and stuff like that. She's against the government coming and
Mandates.
telling you what to do,
Sure.
which I think is such a silly thing because no one's telling you can't do things. They're just saying if you want to go to a store, you've got to follow a thing, right? But anyways, any thoughts?
She's a fucking idiot.
Oh my goodness.
How do you get a job here, there, face?
Yeah,
she
maybe.
Do you think she takes ivermectin?
I don't know.
Does she have natural immunity?
Her thinking about ivermectin, just
I'm feeling it.
she's into. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. She's no longer Ant Woman. She's just Ant
Wasp.
Oh.
You're offending so many fans
I'm
today.
so
Why are
sorry.
you offending us?
Hold on. So
You don't know who you don't know who Iris West is, and now you don't know Wasp is his name.
one of the founding members of the Avengers, man,
She was not.
in the comics.
Yeah, she was in the comics. And then according to Hawkeye, Ant-Man was there the whole time.
It's like, I guess Michelle Pfeiffer, Wasp, would be the founding. But whatever. The point is,
okay, fair.
and
Ooh.
disincluding anyone that has actually come out pro-vax or anti-vax or whatever, is there anyone in the entirety of Hollywood that it would surprise you is anti-vax, like other than the ones that have literally made PSAs saying go get vaccinated. Like
Honestly,
I just
Brad
don't
Pitt.
care.
Brad Pitt would be very surprising because he played Fauci a couple years ago doing the stuff, or like I don't know,
Leo.
No, maybe Leo could be a little bit of a surprise, but I could also see. With
But
his
what if
environmental-
vaccines cause ozone decay? You ever think of that?
He could have
Where-
something like
where
the
are his
waste that
priorities lying?
we're contributing to the environment globally by wasting these masks and gloves and all these test kits. There's no point in
Mm.
anymore. We should just stop that. That's Leo. That's not me. I'm not saying that. Don't cancel me for that.
Also, Leo has not said it for the record.
Leo has said it though. Cole, he said it.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. I was like, wait, where have I been with this?
I like. We need to like run not serious stuff. Like it's just see how long we can go before somebody's like, man, this is some news. We better pick this up.
No, seriously, I was like, I
It
swear
went
I
long
would've heard
enough.
about
You
this.
could have just clipped you saying that.
But there would have been a delay, so it would have just been. And then start talking
Self-burn.
about it or something.
Those are rare.
Oh man. Well, that's that. Let's move over to Jason Momoa, who this is actually recent news too. He just confirmed that he will be in the new Fast and Furious movie. This is after Vin Diesel reached out publicly to Dwayne Johnson to try to get him to come into the league. And he straight up was like, I hate you. Like, I hate you. I'm not doing this. But what do you think about Jason Momoa coming in? This is the last Fast?
No.
It's
Second,
part
it's
one and part two.
oh.
So it's Fast 10, your seatbelts, hopefully.
Yes.
Part one and part two. So it'll be Fast 10, part two, not
Hmm.
Fast 11. I can only hope. These have had the greatest names in all of like movie franchise history, and so they have to keep going like that.
Yeah.
Why is he reaching out? Like, do you think Vin Diesel just wants like an Islander to play this villain? Because
I
did
think
reach
they're
out
trying to
The
make
Rock,
him
right?
The Rock's relative because they
think that's
said
what
that
they're
he's a
gonna do?
relative of one of the main cast members. That's the
Mhm.
release about this. Sorry, I didn't
Okay.
mention that at the beginning.
Okay.
So, I mean, John Cena wants to come back, and he's been brought in as Vin Diesel's brother
Yep.
in the most recent one.
And you
Everyone's
know-
related. It's a soap opera with cars and explosion. It's wonderful.
Can you pitch here? We're gonna go in a round and we're gonna pitch
Yes.
this movie, right?
God.
Because it's so predictable at this point that I feel like we might be able to get some of the plot points
Let's do
fairly
it.
well. So let's start with you, Chaz. What is the first? What's the first act of Fast 10? Your seatbelts.
Heck, even cold open.
It's
Just like,
the
how do we open?
Okay, how we open? Dom.
Starting off real good. What a reveal! What a reveal!
Dom.
His name the whole time has been Dawn. We knew it.
Dom, aka Vin Diesel. It opens up at him at the grave site of Brian.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
and
no.
it's the anniversary of Brian's. Oh no, he's still
He
alive. in
didn't
the franchise,
actually
huh?
die.
Yeah. This is awkward.
Hand pops up from the grave.
Lightning strikes the
A
pole.
Hand holding a steering wheel pops up into the. Oh wait, that's a little bit too much.
That's too
I meant
much.
in the movie, not in the. That was okay.
Yeah.
Now we're canceled.
Yep.
Moving on.
Let's have Cole try it because that totally ruined my opening, realizing he's not dead in the movies.
I think they're gonna bring him back in Fast 10 or Fast 11. They're gonna CG Paul Walker's brother into this. I know what's
I
coming. but
hate that,
Cole,
dude.
What do you have?
Fast 10 Part 1 opens with Dom in the garage, right? And Letty comes to him with their child named Brian and says, Dom, I know that you've been so cooped up in this garage. We need to get out. We need to go on one more ride.
Yeah.
And they take Brian with them. And then we do a montage as Brian grows older, but they stay the same age. And then Brian and Dom are in a street race. And then they
Interesting.
do this. Special effects, Fast 10 your seatbelts, Part 1, go.
Now we cut space.
Final Frontier.
We're in space.
Okay.
We're just kind of like panning around Earth's orbit as we see a car
Okay.
going past, just kind of drifting into the unknown. But
Ludacris
just as we
is
see
still
that,
there.
another car pulls up, hijacks this car, takes a secret thing that's been in the glove box this whole time that we didn't know about. Cut to Barcelona, Spain. Now we're in Barcelona. There's these beautiful cars drifting in and out through the beautiful scenery, right? And like they meet Lil Romeo because they like bringing in the people that was it Romeo that was back? It was Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow.
It was Bow Wow. I gotta put
Tokyo
respect on
Drift.
Bow
You
Wow's
talk
name.
about drifting, so
Yep. Well, that's the thing because they need to learn how to drift in space.
How do you drift in space?
That's exactly the line they're gonna say. That's exactly what they're gonna say.
That
He'll go.
that's
He'll
that's
go. I only drift on the lanes,
No,
not in the space.
Tyrese will have a quip. He's like, "How do you drift in space?"
Okay, so now we're all just about to get in a car, go into space, and just drift.
Okay, but
and then Ludacris goes, "Yeah, you idiot," and then just walks away. You know what I mean?
That's a test.
okay, but here's the new cameo for this movie. Okay, because they need help to get into space, right? Like to really figure this out. Enters Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, and he's like, "I'm Kurt Russell's brother."
Yep.
From the movies,
Mr.
Yep.
Somebody.
Everyone's someone's relative that shows up because they didn't want to actually be in the movie. The people that were, and so they're like, "We're just gonna cast someone that is your brother." How does Jason Momoa come into this though?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Are we going to get a shot of Jason Momoa's introduction on the beach, walking out like Aquaman?
You know what?
Very slow motion.
Shaw will go get him because Shaw was in the post credits of Fast 9, F9.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
that's true.
Shaw, who already has beef with The Rock, is gonna go and look for The Rock, and we get like just a stunt double with their back turned, bald, same tattoos that like could be The Rock, but then they turn around and it's totally not. And then Jason Momoa comes up, he's like, "That's The Rock's 12th cousin's roommate. Let's get him in the gang."
And they're like, Hobbs and him have had it out for years. And now that he sees that he's got a family with someone else, he wants it himself. And he's going to get into this family with the help of Han, which was teased in the last film that he
Han's
was going to
coming
be the
back,
bad
too.
guy or be a part of it. And there was going to be some secret. So why is Han doing this? You know, what's the reason? It's because Gal Gadot is still alive and she's trapped somewhere. And so
In the
he's got to
quantum
try to
realm.
save her in the quantum realm. Yes, he's in the quantum realm. And they're like, how do we get her out of here? Because Evangeline Lilly's not taking care of her. She's like, take some horse medicine. We don't, if you're sick. We have unplugged. Oh no. That was insane. We were on a roll too.
We were on a roll.
This
It's
is
coming
not the
together.
worst thing that's happened to us. That's why I'm so calm about it. It's like,
Dude, that was getting intense too.
it was getting intense. We back? Cut back. Come on. What happened? Maybe we just do it from the FaceTime camera? No, the whole thing cut out.
Oh, click on that. Yeah. And now do
Maybe.
now do the black magic.
Okay. Maybe you can still hear us though. Let's
Oh,
try
that'd be
Black
good
Magic
audio.
again.
Us
There
complimenting
we go.
ourselves. We've been live the whole time. Man, we were great.
What up, everybody? We got to put the music on, of course. That's what we get for not looking at this properly as we were going. But I don't want to look at myself with it. It'll cut to me, and there's like a little delay. Mine actually isn't that bad.
No.
No,
mine's
your-
bad. Like watch.
Yeah. And then you goes, Cole's, yours isn't that bad. Like there's a
That's
little.
on.
It's not the worst. So it's just 3 and 1 for some reason. This one doesn't matter too much because there's like a delay, you know, and you
Yeah.
can't really see our mouths moving unless you're watching us on TV, which I'm sorry for your TV if you're doing that. That's on you.
Did turn on the motion smoothing. It'll be fine.
Well, I guess we can say it's definitely going to end with a part 2.
Wait. So
ending.
Han, the reason Han is the bad guy, and this actually not to ruin the fact that we were having fun, but Han might actually be the bad guy because Shaw was the one that killed him, and now Shaw's part of the gang. And so if we're accepting Shaw in, Han is like, I can't forgive it.
So Han is like had this vendetta this whole time that he's not revealed to people, that he is just only in this gang now to get Shaw.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have a situation where Shaw comes in and Vin is like, you can't kill family. And then he'll be like, he killed the only person I love. And he'll be like, he killed the person I love too. And we won't explain anything else with that. Like that'll be the tee out for the next episode.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah, can
we spent a lot of time
Well,
on
can we
Fast and Furious.
tease
How far are
like
we? It's 21 minutes
dinosaurs
in.
with that? Because then were they gonna do a crossover with Jurassic World?
Yeah, what else does
Oh
Universal
yeah, there was
own?
going to be. Okay, so it turns out, that's interesting play.
So
Jason Momoa is from the islands of Hawaii, right?
Right.
Or it can't be Samoa because no, he should be from Samoa. And then there would be a big question of why the hell wasn't he in Hobbs and Shaw, right? He's the one brother that didn't show up. There were so many relatives in that. And it was like my brother, my other brother, my other. He's the one that didn't show. And they didn't bring it up because it's just too hard. It's just too hard to talk about. And they're gonna bring that girl died. Well, that doesn't matter in this. You know what's insane about this franchise is that the flexibility of bringing their characters back to life is about as intense and easily doable as the multiverse in the MCU. Like they had to make a whole multiverse to explain. Like, well, that's just a variant. These guys are like, meh, it did explode. Here he is. that's it.
So Universal owns Fast and Furious, Jurassic World, and they have the Universal monsters. So the reason that people start coming back is that they are mummies and vampires.
Okay.
That's how they bring
Okay.
Vampire Han.
Make
it happen.
These geeks are gaggling about some stuff right now, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we got a good triage here. I'm liking this menage a trois about Fast and Furious.
Now we just need to boil it into an actual elevator pitch because that elevator ride was long.
Yeah. Can we do it in a song?
Do you have a guitar?
No. Oh, I did have the instrument. Yeah. If Natalie's watching, bring the tiny instrument. If not, no worries. That's all.
You know who you are.
You know who you are, my love. But let's move into the next story. We've done enough. Do you want to talk about James Gunn? Is this the final one?
No.
I think for Cole's betterment of knowing what he's getting into, because look, if you're about to spat out about James Gunn and he has no clue what's going on, the listeners don't know. But for Cole, we need to.
The rundown says James Gunn something Chaz rants, and so I'm waiting to. I don't know why. I don't know.
We need to tell your story.
Okay. You saw the Suicide Squad, right?
The Suicide. Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
On a scale of like one to the other Suicide Squad, or what are we talking? It's like mid-tier 2021 release.
Okay.
Better than the first one.
So
whatever.
Do you think there's a lot of practical effects in that movie?
No.
That's what I thought. And then James Gunn tweeted me out and said, "You're fucking wrong."
Okay. Revisionist history here, sir. Yeah, he said.
Because if I'm James Gunn, I'm concerned with what Chaz has.
He literally corrected me.
He was like, Chaz Campbell Evans, you're the worst. You're the worst person I've ever talked to. That's not what happened. Oh, we got the instrument of destiny. Thank you. But anyway, it wasn't that bad. He asked. You said something catty. You said you were catty.
There's this article.
He was persnickety.
Yeah, I'm like, because the starfish sure looks like practical, like being really snarky like that. Somebody ghost tweeted James Gunn, like his handle, and then James Gunn fucking responded, and I'm like, oh god. And so then I was trying to have a discussion of like, okay, well, what do you determine as special effects, visual effects, and practical effects?
All the explosions as John Cena and them are like walking through that.
And
right? That's probably
that was his thing, is that like there's a lot of practical within the special, and I'm like, but it's overran by special. But anyway, so I was like trying to be chill about it because I got ghost tweeted, right? And then I guess according to Patrick, I kept digging myself into a further hole.
Trying to be chill about it means consistently replying and hoping to.
Was James Gunn replying back?
Yes.
He had a spat with. It was a personal spat with James Gunn.
Yeah, and so now whenever he speaks or something, I get kind of annoyed because
the reason this room is so cold is because of the bitterness that Chaz has.
It's the cold shoulder that James Gunn is giving us.
Well, and I feel it too a little bit. Like anytime James Gunn's name is mentioned, I get a shiver.
So yeah, and so reading that article about Guardians 3 being the last one, possibly, right? I mean, that was the news or whatever. I'm like, wow, I wonder if there's going to be a lot of practical effects.
It's not a good dig. Like, I don't know. I think that's the thing, is that if he had said like your mom's a hoe or like something real like messed up, I can understand you consistently going after him for it, but like he explained himself, like the situation's over.
Dude, it's all it's all semantics of the words and shit. And I'm like,
you know what?
Fucking A.
You know what? It wasn't Dune all about like, oh, all of these locations are real.
Yeah,
and we use practical effects. That worm was a real practical
There it is.
effect looking, huh? Wasn't it?
Ooh,
That whole one of the biggest sequences in the entire film, totally 100% practical. There's no way. Like that's my thing. And I would even say the shots where they're exploding things, those were not real explosions.
How do you know?
Maybe you can tweet Denis. We have beef with Denis too on this
we
show.
don't have beef with Denis.
We have a story about Denis with one of our other hosts, Fonzie.
Oh,
He was there. He was there when Denis got the call that he was going to be doing Dune, and could not pronounce Dune correctly when he was talking to Denis Villeneuve. And so like it was a back and forth. We got a clip of it. You guys can check it out. And that's a plug.
Hey, can we plug? So you're going to get to the point where you plug your Twitter anyway. Could you plug it to me right now so I can look up this beef?
Here's the thing. It might be deleted because I've been deleting my tweets.
If it's a beef and you deleted it,
Well,
it's a mistake.
I purged my
No.
tweets.
It's not beef. It's a mistake because you deleted it. If you kept it up,
Dude,
that's
there's
beef.
screenshots.
You should pin it.
We will.
What are you doing?
Dude, there are screenshots. And here's the thing. I'm so bitter about it and whatever. And this is, I mean, it's a joke, obviously. Obviously, he knows more than I do, right? I'm just being a bitter film graduate student, right?
Wow. Did he go to graduate school? Did he James Gunn, did he
Flex.
go to film graduate school?
I'll check.
No. That's not fine. I was saying, like, he has more experience than I do. So it's just me being salty for the sake of being salty, right? But
that salty's lovely. It's like a
But it got to the
lovely
point where I
Wendy's
followed him on
fry.
Twitter, dude. I'm like, I don't want to see your tweets anymore because I feel like you're gonna boast about it and I'm gonna be wrong again.
He's just gonna be like, you know those Facebook 1 year memories? He's just gonna resend your spat with him and be like, remember when I bested that little remember when I took that kid out?
Dude, and his responses were getting more likes and people were like backing him up.
Of course
and
they
putting,
were
like,
getting
LOL
more
on my
likes. It was
shit.
James
I'm like,
Gunn.
fuck, dude. I got trolled.
James Gunn went to graduate school at Columbia University School of
Yeah, he
Fine
knows more than I do.
Arts.
We have a shocked emoji. That's the weirdest one to give as far as like knowing how our feedback is. Like, what is shocking it? What did we do?
That James Gunn went to school.
Did we
He
start-
earned a
did we start
Master
wrong?
of
We might
Fine
have started
Arts
really
from
wrong. I don't
Columbia.
know. Give us a heart one. That, people. Let's see.
Anyway, that's my beef.
I love the beef. I'll hurt us.
It's some good beef. Well, let's talk about some reviews because I know it's been quite a while since we've been around, and we've all got tons of films that we've seen, whether they be new ones, whether they be old ones. We've been preoccupying our time. It was almost sort of another lockdown. Like we were right on the cusp of, it wasn't going to happen in Utah, of course, but the people that were trying to be like, not that, were, hunkering a little bit down. So I want to say, like, what movies I want to ask what you guys have been watching? Cole, Chaz,
We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh, yeah.
We don't talk
Have you seen
about
Encanto yet?
Bruno.
Yes.
So you like it?
No.
You don't like it?
I don't.
Oh my goodness.
So since we did our top 10 episode, I saw Encanto and I put it into my top 10.
There you go.
And then I got bombarded with We Don't Talk About Bruno for the past 2 weeks, and it is slowly falling out. But the movie itself, fun.
I think the movie has some misguided family dynamics that they don't really address in the end. You know what I mean? Like there's a weird dynamic to narcissistic parents that like I always am a little more sensitive to just because of my upbringing and stuff. Like there's something to do with this grandma making it so difficult for this poor kid's life that he has to be hiding within the lining of this house. And then when he's out, it's like a hug. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't explain, oh, I saw your gift as a problem and I shouldn't have seen it as a problem. I should have seen what your visions were as warning for things I need to change about myself. Like there wasn't any like character development when it comes to Bruno after he got out from there. I was hoping there was more to it. I don't know. Is that just me? Is that?
Yeah.
Well, you two grew up great, didn't you?
No.
But that song has been stuck in my head a lot, especially because it just plays nonstop with like on the radio. If you're watching, if you're listening on the radio, if you're like on TikTok, everybody's using it for things. It's
Your algorithm must be very messed up then.
My algorithm is weird. That is for sure. I've got a weird list of stuff. It goes from well, hello, buddy, to like people making cow noises and stepping in cereal. And, like, it's some weird roads I go on TikTok. But what were some other? We have Encanto. Chaz, what was your film of the month so far that you want to talk about?
Probably Tender Bar.
Tender Bar, nice.
Yeah. I saw Tender Bar. I thought it was really good for what it was. Ben Affleck's a good.
Well, what
actor.
was it? What do you mean? What it was?
Just for what it was. It's a good story. I mean, that's what it is.
For a bunch of white people. Is that what you're saying?
But I did watch Coda like you told me to 5 billion times.
That's what we need to talk about. I don't know why we didn't start talking about this. He watched Coda.
Have you seen Coda?
It was on.
Yes,
it was on my top 10
yeah,
too.
His number one was Tick Tick Boom.
Mhm.
No, and then yours was Dune.
Yep,
still right. And I think mine was Coda.
Yours was Coda.
Mm-hmm. So
I loved it. I cried,
dude. It's incredible.
It's a feel-good
I am
movie.
so
As you
proud.
should.
Can I just say how proud of you I am, Chaz? Because we've come a long way from me recommending something or us saying we should go see something, and you just like shitting on it to shit on it. You know what I mean?
When do I do that?
Oh, I know there's films that you secretly love that you have not publicly said that you enjoyed.
Like what?
Because exactly. I'm not gonna go. We're not going down this road.
I did also see Tragedy of Macbeth, and I thought it was absolute boring.
Ooh.
Style over substance, sir.
But we can have to talk about the witch. She was amazing. The Three Witches.
Oh, as opposed to the Vivitch, which
The
is
Vitch.
a different.
That's what I'm like.
We need to talk about the witch.
Are you
We're
comparing
probably
this
going
to
to
the
be
witch?
we're going to be talking about a lot of witches in a little bit. I'll talk about some Sundance stuff.
Okay.
It was witch season for Sundance. There was like 2-3 movies all about witches. Well, not all about, but referencing them.
Was Rebecca Hall's about a witch?
I didn't watch that. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
What else? You saw Coda. You loved it. Is it a 10 out of 10?
I give it 4.5 out of 5.
That's fair.
I think that's where I was at.
I think my favorite moments in that movie still are her screaming, like doing the like breathing exercise when she's with the person, and then with the truck scene. Like, dude, nothing beats that truck scene.
Her dad feeling her voice. I was like, dude, that's where I lost it. Like,
chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. That's what movie making is all about. Is those kind of moments where you're in an environment where who knew like, and it sounds kind of stupid, right? But who know that most deaf people kind of do like rap music because of the vibrations, and like that there's things about that you don't even realize about the deaf community. And the acting in this was incredible by those performers. And I was just watching Colbert with the mom. She was on Colbert, and she was just talking about, because she's already an Oscar winner. Like, she won an Oscar, I believe, like 20 years ago or so. And she was saying that, like, throughout this time, there's been so many roles that were deaf characters given to, hearing people. And it was about to happen with Coda too, until she put her foot down and said no, like basically inserted herself and said, it's got to change at this point. And that's where I really feel representation is so important, because it would not have felt the same if these characters were not actually themselves hard of hearing,
Yeah. So good recommendation.
Good recommendation. I saw Scream 5, and I really liked Scream. I like Scream.
I haven't seen it yet.
I liked it a lot. Did you see it, Cole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You saw it opening night?
No, but like a $5 Tuesday.
Can we talk about it? Because I already know the spoilers.
We won't talk about who it is, but I want to talk about how much fun I had just letting them tear into the fandoms. Like that.
That's what we do.
When the reveal happened, somebody yelled out, "Oh, I knew it!" But then when they just started ramping, that's where I was like, "Yeah, get him!" They're like, it's exactly what it's a we need to talk about Kevin, but for a fan.
We need to talk about it, because when Scream comes out for the first time in 1996,
I'll let you have that.
Horror franchises has gotten to the point where they were a joke, right? Nothing was really going well, and so Scream tore into them appropriately. And then Scream 2 and Scream 3, and we kind of like lose our way. And now now is the time that we need to tear into a different kind of thing. It's not the movie making business that is having more of the problems. Like, franchises are bad, and it touches on that. It's us talking about movies that are the problem. And Scream just...
Not only us talking about the movies, but us influencing the movies. We can talk about
Rise of Skywalker.
that, if that was us doing that,
They caved to us. They caved to us because of the backlash of Last Jedi because of a bunch of gatekeepers.
I will push back on that a slight bit because I don't think J.J. Abrams is one to not go with his creative vision first and then insert fan service. The
reason they brought J.J. Abrams back is because his creative vision was the fans' creative vision.
But the fans did not want Palpatine back. That had never been a thing in my mind that people were vocalizing. We need to bring back Palpatine.
No, but it's something we can all talk
bringing back
about.
Palpatine was 100% because Force Awakens is how he wanted to start that up.
Yeah.
His intention was to bring back Palpatine from Force Awakens.
And by the way, my pushback was always we wouldn't need to overly recorrect with how terrible Rise of Skywalker was if The Last Jedi, had also followed the vision that JJ had said. If JJ had a vision, he probably didn't. But we wouldn't have had to overcorrect if it had just been one person's vision from the start. The Last Jedi's good, right? But it doesn't belong in that trilogy.
Disagree.
No, no. How dare you? Wait, you didn't like The Last Jedi?
He doesn't. He liked it. He just doesn't think it belongs in that trilogy, right?
Yes, it's a good movie. It
does belong in the trilogy.
Sequel to Force Awakens.
Dude, it's
hard disagree.
It actively works against the first Force Awakens
on purpose, though.
No, but I want to know exactly how. Other than us, because they didn't build Luke into anything in Force Awakens.
We are being toxic fans.
Oh God, yeah. What are we doing?
Scream.
Yeah, we were just talking about Scream, and then we were just about to go right into fighting. That's why Scream is so good. That's why Scream is so good.
Does that prove my point, though? That all started because of Rise of Skywalker, right?
Yes, it is exactly what.
But this started with Force Awakens. It didn't start with Rise of Skywalker. It started with Force Awakens, bringing back legacy characters, doing the things that they were referencing.
And it was successful and good.
And
so if that's what you're investing into, then you do it for a sequel.
It had a lot of pushback because it was too much like
Go
the
back
original.
to 2017 and tell me one person that pushed back on Force Awakens.
Tons of people were saying, this is just a New Hope.
It's a retread.
That we got to see Han and Chewie back, and they didn't show Luke at all, and I'd rather that, they were just another Death Star. But there was a lot of good grace.
Really good. It's better than A New Hope.
But there was a lot more goodwill with the Force Awakens because people were just happy to see their characters come back. And then
they were unhappy to see them shat on in The Last Jedi.
I don't think they were shat on though.
They weren't shat.
I think the thing that most people took the biggest issue with Last Jedi first was
Luke Skywalker.
Second was the social justice side of bringing in Admiral Holdo and all of that stuff with how they were handling it. People just had
the loudest annoying
it was
fans,
during very
yes,
political
those
times,
things.
and I think people used politics to attack what was happening with The Last Jedi.
Which is why I don't often voice my dislike for The Last Jedi, because I don't want to be lumped in with those people. My opinion, my beef with The Last Jedi is how often they just pull the rug out from under you. Like, he sets things up in his own movie to be one way, and then for just whims and shits and giggles, he pulls the rug out from under you and said, nope, you thought one thing, didn't you? But I'm Rian Johnson, and I'm outthinking you, and I can be mean to my fans. And like
society.
We live in a society.
Do you think Snoke?
Oh no.
Do you think that death was well deserved, or no?
I thought that was a great subverted expectation, and I think they should have.
No, there was not a single good subverted expectation in the whole movie. The whole movie was subverting expectations by setting up expectations in your own movie.
That's why it's genius.
I believe, if I may say this, I believe that we would have anticipated what was coming with Snoke if he'd survived to the third.
No,
we would have anticipated some certain character plot points because it rhymes, like George Lucas said, and we would have kind of anticipated where his character was going to come to an end. Him dying in the second one and Kylo taking over was the coolest thing about that movie.
That's fine, but in the moment when it happens and he tries to make you think, oh, it's not going to happen, and then it does, like, just time after any one of those subversions would have been fine, but it felt like every 5 minutes he was like, you think this is going to happen? Nope. You think this is going to happen?
But you don't think that's You don't think that's ballsy for a Star Wars film to do that, because they're very formulaic. Right?
And you know what? They were reactionary back in Force Awakens with John Boyega's character. He was going to be the Jedi.
Yeah.
he was going to be the main character. We all know it. And they did not go with that. And they sidetracked his character, took him to Canto Bight. Nobody liked that sequence. Nobody liked the weird llama races that they were doing. And like the Benicio del Toro. Hello, everybody. I'm Benicio del Toro. What are you doing right now?
Do you need a ride?
It's like, yeah, what's up, Doc? Like he was almost like Bugs Bunny in some cases. But even the droids, the new droids were fine. I love BB-8. I thought it was great. But the fact that I liked Scream 5, and we were talking about Scream 5. You see where we can write up what we're going to talk about, but it's going to go everywhere.
So with Scream 5, I haven't seen it yet, but I want to. I did rewatch the Scream trilogy recently.
The Forlogy?
The 4G, yeah.
Okay.
4 is good. I liked 4 quite a bit.
4 is better than 3.
Yeah, 3 is my least, but I still give it a lot of good grace because Carrie Fisher was awesome in it, and I liked the subverted expectations with that, and they were going straight for Return of the Jedi.
Because it's a Scream movie, not a freaking serious blockbuster tentpole Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm. But it also isn't Scary Movie, and Scary Movie is like that was the crazy thing with watching these because I only just this past year started Scream, like my Scream journey, and so I had watched the Scary Movies before I watched Scream, and so it literally is like I've been eating Hot Pockets from the trash for years, and then somebody gave me a beef Wellington, and I was like, oh my gosh. You can still make the same type of tropes and funny comedic commentary on the genre and be a good movie too.
There was a good metaphor to be made. Like it was someone gave you a bunch of Hot Pockets and then you had like a gourmet pizza because the Scream movies aren't the beef Wellington of movie making. Like they're still fun and
for the genre bending. If you're calling a scary movie,
they're as good as it gets. Yeah. No,
good as it gets.
I will not be framed as someone that's anti-Scream. They're one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
But in the scope of cinema, they are a good gourmet pizza. They are not beef Wellington, especially in compared to the Hot Pockets of Scary Movie.
What do you think's a Hot Pocket of a Scary Movie?
The pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, what's the pineapple on pizza
of
Scary Movies?
You've seen all the Scary Movies?
Like of the sequels? What do you?
Yeah.
What?
Have you seen all of them?
You see, that's a weird flex to have to say I've seen every scary movie. Have you seen Disaster Movie?
I've seen Disaster Movie and Superhero Movie.
Wow.
And Date Movie.
All right, well I'm out.
Meet the Spartans.
Oh god. Okay, well let's see. Rounding up.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
I don't want to talk
too
much about Sundance because I feel like it'll be keeping you guys out of the loop with stuff because you didn't watch any of the things. But what I will say is that there's still some available tickets and there's some still very good films that are still available.
And so give me 2 recommendations. Just like what were your 2 favorite?
So I know 2 of my favorites. There's one film that I watched a couple days before the festival started. That was, I believe, is called You Won't Be Alone.
Okay.
And this is a character study about a young girl that basically was cursed by a witch. She sliced her tongue out when she was a baby, and the mother was just so terrified to do anything with this kid that she basically did what happened with Brie Larson in Room, like put this baby in a hole. And it's like, we're keeping her there till she's 18, maybe even more. So this kid grew up just in a hole, not being able to do anything. And then suddenly a raven comes down and it's that witch. She transforms, kills the mom, takes the girl, and now it's a journey with this witch and this girl. She's trying to raise the girl to be like a witch, teach her about, because she now is a witch. She killed her, turned her into the powers, and these powers are very different than what you've seen from normal witch films. Like most of the time, it's like a broom. It's silly stuff, right? This is the opposite of that. She's like a hunter gatherer. She's almost like Sasquatch. In a way, and she's the witch has been burned, so her face is just like Deadpool, basically. Deadpool meets Freddy Krueger, completely burned, has like some hair scraggling out. But this girl branches off, she leaves, and she can transform into other people. So she's inserting herself into villages and trying to understand what people are like. And so it's very much like Room, like with Jacob Tremblay's character, where she's, trying to figure out what's going on. And meanwhile, this witch just comes in and fucks shit up. Like, she's like, oh, you like this happy life? Just kills the person next to her and runs away. And she's like, what are you doing? It's like if we were in the mall and I was like, this guy's a pedo, and just ran away. And like she just kept ruining any chances she had to assimilate into this village because like there's just no way they're going to keep her after that. But it was very good. Oh, what else is there? I did an interview. This is a plug, sadly. I I never.
Shameless plug.
I feel bad about it, but there's an interview I did with the director for Emily the Criminal, starring Aubrey Plaza. This film I liked a lot because it reminded me of Nightcrawler, where you're you have this thing that you love, or a world that you get involved into by happenstance, right? And that world that you're in, you suddenly turn out to be pretty good at what you do, and that weird twisted passion of getting to like be the best at that takes over that character until everything crumbles down into it. If you watch Luke Cage, you know Shades from that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Theo Rossi, he's in this alongside Aubrey Plaza. Awesome. It really, I had no idea that this dynamic would be as cool as what it was. But
so talking about cool. Like Aubrey Plaza obsession, did you watch Ingrid Goes West a few years ago?
Oh yeah.
Because that was one of my favorites.
I've seen weirdly too a lot of Aubrey Plaza. I've seen Black Bear. I saw that. Ingrid Goes West is really good.
I haven't seen that.
Dude, you should check that one out. She plays a good, like, I don't know, awkward character that goes down the rabbit hole,
but
into
it's
weirder
like
stuff.
Into obsession in a dark place. It's wonderful.
But please check out that interview. And the movie is very good. There's a few documentaries that came out. I don't want to bring up the winners because then we're just gonna have to admit that the picks that I picked weren't the winners. And so it's like I didn't watch
more
that.
Interesting
I didn't watch
anyway.
that.
Come on. Who wants to see an Oscar show where they get all 10 nominees correct?
Well, last time I called Coda winning it all. So I was like, I thought I had some like magic in my fingers about like clicking the vote. No. But actually, yeah.
So was this year's Sundance, since it went back to being virtual at the last minute, was it better than last year's virtual experience? Because I know last year some people had issues with like how glitchy it was, or it didn't make sense. But
I wouldn't say that it was so much glitchy in my experience last year. The issue was is that they still found a way to restrict stuff. Like back then, it was very much sign up for as many as you want, watch as many as you need. And then this time it was you get 10 premieres and you've got 15 you can watch after, like secondary screenings. That's still quite a bit of movies. That's 25 movies, but you weren't allowed to swap them. So once you RSVP'd for something, that was your movie. So if it turned out you got reactions later on from critics and stuff saying that this wasn't good, you can't swap it to go find something that you'd rather watch, which makes sense for the creators. You don't want like that's messed up to like take advice from the critics and then not watch the movie, like form your own opinion of it. But it was also a little bit frustrating because it's like, what if somehow I can't make it for this time now? Am I just out? I can't go and get a different ticket or something. But it's better than the other people that didn't get refunded for all of their in-person stuff, which that's a topic we can discuss later. I don't know. Once all the dust settles, I know people are still pretty like.
Once the dust settles, like when COVID's over in Never, or once the dust settles,
once Sundance stops accepting calls for refunds. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah. But what do we got next? Is there anything else? No. Wow. Then let's talk about the countdown to Batman with our remaining 10 minutes. Hey, this has been fun. Like. This has gone by pretty fast. My fingertips are freezing. Like,
it's
and
cold
my toes
in here,
feel
dude.
like they're gonna. You're in flip flops, by the way.
Which I thought would be fun because
when
we
you
were
pulled
going
up with flip flops,
indoors.
I was shocked. It is almost February. We're not there yet.
That's
it's okay. I did that too. This is the most clothing that's been on me for Gaggle of Geeks. That's a weird
thing.
So you're normally naked. Okay. I'll check out some of the past episodes.
I'm
just trying to push engagement, man.
Do you wear flip-flops?
Get those views.
Like in the snow and stuff? Or
yeah.
Oh, well, there's not that much snow right now.
But like when it does snow.
Because normally you can like be on top of the snow, right? I don't really sink into it. There's that like crust of
must be nice.
But that doesn't
be nice being all skinny, being so light that you don't.
Look, I'm actually Legolas. I just walk on the top of it. That's fine.
So you're like Jesus.
He's like the squirrel from Ice Age.
I'm a flip-flops all year round guy. Yes, to answer the question.
Do you wear shorts in the winter?
No, that's.
I did that, but I'm from St. George. Now I get this a lot. Like
the real question: do you wear socks with flip flops ever?
No.
Okay.
Bested.
Because I like being barefoot, and flip flops is the closest thing to barefoot. I don't like putting on socks, and that's why I put on flip flops instead of shoes.
Cool.
That's my take.
And that's our take on flip flops or not flops.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the. Actually, you know what? Let's just cut to an ad. We were saying we were going to. Let's do it. So, oh God, what?
Better buy some merch.
Oh, we're threatening you.
No, there's no threatening.
Buy merch.
Just buy merch.
You think that you're gonna listen to this episode without buying merch?
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Dude, merch. Gaggle of Geeks.
Dad, do it again. Touch your chest. Buy that merch.
Gaggle of Geeks.
This is better at. Oh man. Buy that merch. Buy that merch.
That's an oldie.
Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. And you know what else are oldies and goodies? The legacy of One Dark Night.
What makes them dark?
Yeah, we're going to be talking
The
about
night.
the road to the Batman. We've started it right now, and we're breaking it up into different kind of selections here. This first week, we've decided we're going to talk about live action Batman, the ones that we've seen in TV and in film, and then we're going to move into our animated Batmans. We're going to move into the Arkham games. Of course, we need to talk about the Arkham games and how important those are, and previous games too. I remember playing Batman Forever on Super Nintendo, and like Batman Returns on Super Nintendo.
I think you just aged yourself.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember that.
Wow. Okay. All right. And then we'll talk about all the other kind of stuff. But
By
I
my
wanna know-
count, 34 days till Batman. We're talking 4-ish weeks.
Yep, that's plenty of time to talk about these characters. So
Let's talk Batman.
that
was just because you're cold, right?
I want to know
Not-
your guys'
not anticipation.
favorites, and I don't want you to be embarrassed if it's not Christian Bale or Ben Affleck. There can be an Adam West favorite. There can be a live action Kevin Conroy favorite. We need to talk about Batman. So who is your favorite, Chaz?
George Clooney.
Sometimes radio silence is a good thing.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, that's why we react to the camera. Just
Dude, he was good in Batman and Robin with Arnie Schwarzenegger.
what is with you dismissing people's names? Like you have no problem just like even like John Watts, you're like Bon Lots, and just like, not even gonna J Watts. You're abbreviating them more than not.
Yeah.
What did you call me before?
Patrick Beatty.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
It wasn't until like a few months ago you were like, it's a Beatty. And I'm like, oh, that's
Like
weird.
Warren Beatty.
I thought it was Patrick Beatty.
See, that's
so
what I was hoping that people would get, but he's now too old for a reference.
Oh, that's
Like,
right.
people-
You were dating yourself. You're more Warren Beatty's era. Yeah, that makes sense. We're all young here.
Yeah.
Except
All
for
right.
So
Well,
there's that.
all right.
Awkward.
I feel that you and I are cut from the same cloth. You know what?
We are.
I
We
take
are.
that back. We're not.
Oh,
You're all
okay.
whore.
You're a whore.
You're
You're a
whore.
whore. But you know who wasn't a whore? I think first let's talk about Adam West. We have to pay tribute to the first.
Do we?
Actually, there was a serialized Batman before him,
Mhm.
and that would have been the first. And then I don't see any multiverse crossover event with that. But Adam West, R.I.P. First of all, he was the first to don it in color television. You have Burt Ward as Robin. You have Cesar Romero as the Joker. Eartha Kitt as Catwoman. A lot of things that like later on were pretty important. And now that they're making a new Batgirl film, I see a lot of influence with the Adam West version of those costumes and stuff. I think Adam West deserves...
I mean, also the comic books that Adam West's version was taking influence from, but
That's also true. But it was a different time. Like this Batman was fun, jokey. He was running around with shark repellent. He couldn't get rid of a bomb that he was hanging above his head, just sprinting around a local. Like imagine if Robert Pattinson. That was the big thing in the end. He's just like, like running away with a bomb.
because comic books were also for kids then. It wasn't until the 80s that the comic books that we took inspiration from got to be more like they realized that their kids from the 60s and the Bronze Age or whatever the hell they call it had grown up with them, and so they started making adult comic books, and then we started making adult comic book movies too. So like at this time, my dad is a kid in the 1960s. He's reading Batman comic books, and he gets a show for kids.
I agree.
But like talking about our generation and the generational divides, was your first exposure to Adam West also Family Guy? Because
Oh no, it was. I remember.
but did you actually sit down and watch Batman episodes?
I owned the Batman movie.
Okay.
So this was, I lived in Rawlins, Wyoming during this time though. So it was kind of like, you could probably say that I wasn't cultured with stuff. You know, it was like a half a horse town. There wasn't much there. I remember actually, this is really shady, and I probably could have gotten it. Something bad would have happened. There was this. They called it a mall, but it was really just like a business building that had no windows. And it was just like you walk in and it was just looked like a school hallway with like different little office rooms that had their things, right? And at the very end, there was a comic book video game store where this shady character was there. And I went in there, I bought a few Game Boy games, and the Batman movie was over there. So I was like, I didn't know that existed. I want that right now. So I got that and I came home. My parents were like, where were you? And I told them, and they were terrified. They were like, you went into a dark room with a man who gave you things and sent you back. And how much did you pay? Oh, we got to go. Because I was like, $50 makes sense. It's like, yeah.
You paid $50 for the
I don't
Batman
know. If
movie?
I think it was probably 30 for all of that total. But it was some Game Boy games.
I mean,
Some
that's
Game Boy games
legit.
That's fair.
Here's the
and
thing,
back in
though.
the day, parents didn't get the video game prices were going up, so there was just. And also, I was a curmudgeon, so there's another reason.
I know that you're in Wyoming, but you're not that much older that there wasn't a better live action Batman by the time that you're a kid, because Keaton is, to answer your question, my favorite live action Batman by far.
Wow.
Because Tim Burton is
Okay.
good.
You know, I think I'll agree with you. I'll give you that. Michael Keaton's the best one so far.
Honestly, if we're talking seriously, I'd say Christian Bale, but
Christian Bale was good, but he's
not a good Bruce Wayne.
If you want to compare him to comic Batman, which and that's weird to
There's
define.
plenty of different
because-
comic versions. That, yeah, I don't care too much
Well,
about
and I know
that.
people that haven't seen any Batman except for Michael Keaton because they refuse.
Meh.
Literally haven't seen the Dark Knight trilogy because they don't want.
dude, but Dark
Anyone
Knight trilogy is like
else.
on a platter.
It's insane.
It's one good
I've-
movie.
I've had a lot of arguments
elevating
about that.
to not as good movies.
Shut up.
Batman Begins is a very good Batman movie.
But what?
Batman Begins is a
Oh,
very
yeah,
good
Begins.
Batman
Yeah,
movie.
It is.
I think it's a very
The other
good-
one is
You don't like Rises?
I think The Dark Knight Rises
It's
is a James Bond film.
So bad.
What?
So long. So
I don't think it's so bad. I think it's slightly underhanded when they cut out Bane and make Talia the lead. I think that was a little bit, it didn't work for me. But I like how they had to bring Batman back like that, right? And I like that the death of Harvey Dent actually meant something. And it wasn't something that they were just going to sweep under. Granted, we don't get Heath Ledger, which everybody was hoping for. We had Cillian Murphy, which I think he's an incredible actor too.
Isn't he in every single one?
He's in all three.
He's been in all three.
He's a good Scarecrow.
But that ending really undoes it. Like the ending of just,
Spoilers.
we're gonna do a bomb. It's been a
10-year-old
decade.
movie.
It's been a
He
yeah,
retired though.
and that makes me sad that it's been a decade. That's nuts to me. I remember watching that, seeing the Man of Steel trailer, be like, "Whoa, this is really gonna open up.
That man.
this world's really gonna explode." ain't it?"
Nolan is on as executive producer. The Man of Steel
Oh my
trailer is
God,
better than
we were-
any Man of Steel movie.
They're like, "Wow, did he just break the sound barrier?" Oh
No, it's the
that's
same.
fools.
My Batman take is the same as my Spider-Man take, where we get good like Peter Parkers, we get good Spider-Man, and we get good like whole package, right?
Mhm.
Tobey Maguire, great Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield, great Spider-Man. Tom Holland, great whole package. George Clooney, I guess, is like the good Bruce Wayne, like because he's rich but like I could believe that guy's rich and famous and whatever.
Mhm.
Christian Bale's a good just Batman, and then Keaton's the whole package.
What about Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer was in a movie.
What about Batfleck?
Whoa! I like Batman Forever, man. Why you digging on my Batman Forever, homie?
It's
Riddler, Jim
it is a
Carrey.
movie.
It's awesome. Tommy Lee Jones looks visibly angry to be in this movie throughout the entire thing, which I love.
So
I love
people-
it so much, and he's trying to out Jim Carrey, which is the stupidest decision he could have made. To
People
try
are
to be
gonna be
like,
so
and
confused
I'm.
when Riddler comes into this new one, because the only Riddler so many people know is Jim Carrey, and that's not comic book Riddler, folks. That's just Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey.
That's Ace Ventura,
that's Ace Ventura,
question detective. Yeah.
or The Mask, or anything that Jim Carrey was in that span. But
Real quick, did you guys see the ad that YouTube had? It was like the full scene of the new Batman movie.
I avoid it.
You
Like
avoided
when I
it,
see it,
okay.
I mute it. and
Yeah, I
go
saw
away.
it. I sent it to you. I sent it to you.
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, I sent it to you. I was like,
sent me
look,
the
I accidentally
song.
put this up as an ad. And you were like, it's cinema.
Oh, I don't remember.
This guy. This guy gets all sauced up and forget. I'm just kidding.
No, I was just. I mean, just from that though, I mean, Robert Pattinson's gonna be a good Bruce Wayne, I think. So.
You guys are going past Val Kilmer way too quickly.
Nah,
I think Val Kilmer
it's
was a
Val
pretty
Kilmer.
incredible Batman. Like that Batman was good.
We can compliment him without
And I
using
did like-
incredible.
The things that we can talk about that are weird with it, though, a 30-year-old Robin living with Bruce, like he can't get his own apartment. He's like, no, you can come live with me. He's like, I'm 30, I have retirement stuff, 401k. He's like, no, you can come. Poor orphan boy, come live with me. You can do cool tricks with your laundry.
Just predicted the future. If this was 2022, we wouldn't think anything of a 30-year-old having to.
Oh, it would have been like a
roommate
Nightwing
and-
movie. That's awesome. And they even call him Nightwing in Batman Forever. There were some references and stuff that was pretty. Didn't they reference Superman and Batman and Robin too? They said this is why Superman works alone at the beginning of the movie.
Did they say that?
Yep,
That's cringe.
because they walk up to their cars,
That
right?
is so cringe.
Robin goes to his car, Clooney goes to his car, and he's like, "Chicks dig the cars, right?"
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
then he's like,
That's why
"This is why."
Superman works alone.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. That music was really good too.
I mean, every good Batman hasn't had a Robin, and every bad Batman movie has involved Robin in some way, including Dark Knight Rises being the
Oof,
worst in that
that's a
trilogy and
take,
having
that's a
Robin
take.
show up.
Wow.
There can be a good Nightwing eventually. There's good Teen Titans is fantastic, and Young Justice, very, very good.
You okay?
But when you pair Batman and Robin, it's always in a bad movie. Always.
So far, except for Adam West's Batman, which they had a Robin, they kept that for a few seasons.
Jokesy movie, right? That's fine, right? But like serious Batman can't have.
You
Robin.
cannot call Batman and Robin a serious Batman movie.
I'm not.
It is
That's
serious.
what I'm
It's a
saying. It
misunderstood-
is
it's
serious.
a misunderstood throwback to the Adam West Batman, and nobody caught that.
Yeah, that was his intention.
That
but
was
not
and to
serious.
make
That's
toys
the
and to
point.
make toys. The whole costume switch up
Which
at
I
the
had.
end. And
Just keep in mind, George Clooney's my favorite, just based off nostalgia. Like that was my jam.
oh yeah,
Bet
Poison
Rob
Ivy,
was.
huge part of my sexual awakening.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Michelle
but
Pfeiffer
she
was.
and Freeze's ice puns are hilarious. Bane, the fact that these two are diametrically opposed as far as what their intentions are to do their world stuff. Like one wants to freeze everything, the other wants to grow all the plants. That's gonna work fine for both of you in the end. Like you two are gonna work well together. At least with Catwoman and Penguin, they had a little bit, of a understanding to work together. Like Max,
They both
Schreck
had
and
creepy
Catwoman.
costumes.
And
Yeah, you're
Batman,
right.
Batman Returns is still my favorite Michael Keaton Batman movie. I think it's better than the Nicholson version.
It's a take I've heard, and it's one that I appreciate. Like I don't agree. I think Batman '89 is the second best Batman movie we've gotten. But yeah, Returns is underrated. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's a shame Nicholson takes away the performance of Michael Keaton. Huh?
Because Nicholson's better.
Yeah,
How dare you?
Dude,
nobody thought
dude,
that
the
Keaton
whole
was gonna be good.
Batman movie, Tim Burton, is overrated.
Wow. All right. Well,
And-
now let's move into our Ben Affleck part of this. He doesn't have any movie per se, but he's featured more than any Batman. He was in more films than any other live action Batman. Count them with me. We got first Suicide Squad. We've got Batman v Superman.
That's
We got the
true.
Justice League, and then we got Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay, but those are.
And it wasn't just after credit scenes. He was in a scene in Suicide Squad.
Let me ask you a question though.
Why are you looking mad at me?
I'm not, because the
Why are you looking mad at me?
Justice League and the Snyder Cut, right, are actually two of the same movies, right?
So you're counting it as one?
I'm counting it as
You're
one.
trying to be
It's just
you're trying
different
to be
cuts.
that guy?
It's just different cuts.
Nah.
Yeah, because they already had footage. They already
Completely
shot the
different
footage. They already
If
shot
they-
the footage.
But what if they had to reshoot the footage? The reshoots count as its own movie. Because
No, it does not
turned
count
into-
as its own movie.
It's a
Reshoots is a
whole
very
nother
common thing.
movie.
No, it's not. Reshoots are a very common thing.
Are
on
the two
movies.
different versions of Blade Runner two different movies? to
No,
you?
they're not.
Yeah.
No, you ask. Have you
narration
seen
one
Blade Runner? You say,
versus
well,
the-
which one? The final cut or the theatrical
And you
cut?
can't make
Because
that
they're the
comparison.
same.
They're the
You can't
same
make that
movie.
comparison because they are different films. Snyder's Justice League versus the other. The intentions are different. What they want is
It's
different.
just a different cut.
I don't want to set
It's
that
not a
precedent
different cut.
because
How can you watch 4 hours
It's a-
of that movie and say, "Oh, it's the same as
But
Justice League"?
those 4 hours could have been cut down to like 3 hours.
I
and
knew
they
we were
were.
going to start fighting when we got to this point. And I didn't even say something wrong. It's just a fucking fact. It's just he was in it more than they were. Sorry.
If
Christian, and he's going to be in it more because he's in the Flash too. So that there makes him being in every Batman longer than
Not
any
if his
Batman.
scenes get cut.
His scenes are cut.
How do you know?
Just his character. Just the character's getting cut. And Michael Keaton's going to take over. That's what's going to happen.
I hope not.
Why?
Because Michael Keaton's not the
Affleck's
best
done,
Batman.
dude. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And like the fans forcing him to do it ain't going to work out the way they want.
This is all just fan
Oh yeah, let's
service.
talk about Scream again.
There is one little bit of news we can bring up that I didn't bring up. Matt Reeves talked about Ben Affleck's Batman movie. And the way he said it actually sounds pretty cool to me. And it sounds like he was very respectful of what this was. He went on to say that he thinks that it was very valid. Like that he went to the studio and he said, look, this script is a very valid Batman film and it's very good. And this could work very well. It has a very James Bond-esque to it. It's very intertwined with the DCEU. So there's a lot of stuff with that. But there's no way I could do it. Like that's basically how he said it. There's no way that
As soon
I
as you
myself
say
could do
"but,"
it
you
and be
invalidate
invested in it.
everything you say before. I don't
You
care
said
how
it.
much
I didn't
you
have
compliment.
to. You said I didn't have to. It's just about creative vision. And he said you should find a new director if you want to do this script. Like he left it to Warner Brothers. And this was in 2017 as well. So it's been quite a while.
We're not going to see it.
We're not going to see it. I hope we get a script leak. I think that'd be I would be more interested in reading that script leak than I would the Ayer Suicide Squad leak, which I read that and went, okay, I'm so glad this didn't happen.
Like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 script leak. That would
be interesting too.
Yeah,
I'd love to. Or George Miller. He put out his script already. George Miller's Justice League was very interesting. That script, it has some stuff in it. Oh boy. Well, I guess that's everything. Do you have anything else to say about our Batman? The Batmans?
No.
So you're officially on the record with Bale. I'm Keaton.
Bale's your number one. Keaton's my number one. But I will say, as far as Brawler, as far as what we got to see with Affleck, he's very good.
You're not discounting Affleck.
He's very good.
Okay.
I would
He's
probably,
a good Batman.
if he was given his own movie and had the chance to really flesh out his character, explain what was happening with the Robin, why he was killing and all that crap,
Yeah.
we might have the definitive Batman.
Well, no, not definitive.
No.
Right. Like
He was
he
very
can be
close.
a version. He's a hyper violent, like old man version of Batman. But my definitive
But would he
is still
would
like
he have
a
been
younger...
hyper violent, or had that arc been closed when Superman died? I thought that's what the whole message was, is that I'm killing until Superman dies, and now I know that's not a good thing. It's a Zack Snyder way to do that, but it's
You're making me like it less.
Dude, I defended Batman versus Superman 2, and the uncut version, the Ultimate Edition or whatever, right, is a better film than the theatrical one.
That's the only one I've ever seen, by the way.
But it's still
Only
the same film.
theatrical
Kind of like
Justice League?
no, the
Ultimate.
director cut, whatever they call it.
okay.
The not theatrical.
Oh, so you didn't contribute to its box office?
No, not Batman v
You're the
Superman.
reason.
I did.
Yeah, that was a tough night at where was I? I went to a Denny's after that and just sat there. I was in so much
What
disbelief.
year did BVS come out though? Like why
2014.
wasn't I? Why didn't I go see that? I was
2014,
watching
man. It was a weird
movies.
Was
time.
it 2014?
Or was it 2016? I think it was 2016. Yeah, because I remember I put up a video that was like Batman v Superman versus Trump or something. It was a stupid idea.
It
But
came
what-
out same year as Civil War. I remember that
Oh yeah, and that was the big beef that people kept having. I was like, we should put this up against this.
because it's the same plot.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop. You're making sense.
Well, that was that was a horrible ending to a Batman recap. I love Batman, and I'm very excited for all. There's no wrong Batman in my mind. Even George Clooney. There's a place for everybody.
They all do their. That's the beauty. That's why Batman's the best superhero, is because we can get very different versions. When we see a weird, like miserable, hyper-violent Superman, we're like, no, that's not Superman. Stop that.
Mhm.
Whereas Batman, we can get like old man Batman, young Batman, figuring it out Batman. Like he can funny Batman, Batman and Robin Batman. They're all valid Batmans.
Mhm.
I hope to see a live action of Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Batgirl's going to be, basically, from what I've heard. But I'm excited for Batgirl too. Those pictures look pretty dope.
I know nothing about it.
Okay. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Gaggle of Geeks. Please make sure to check us out on YouTube, Twitter, all those places. I want to thank both Cole and Chaz for coming on. Please tell the folks where they can find you.
at Cole Wissinger on Twitter, and my reviews are at inquamag.com.
Dang. What? Oh,
What's your Twitter? I'm ready.
you can follow me on Twitter at your boy Chaz. Need me to spell that for you?
It will be quickly changed to James Gunn's a fart face.
Oh, I found it. At James Gunn's a fart face.
You can also follow me on my other podcast, Over and Under Arts Exposed. But that's it.
Very cool. And make sure to check out the reviews, Patrick Beatty reviews, and all of our other little shows that we're working on. Hey, we're back, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have Cole in this now, not just as a black screen, unless we mess up the video.
Okay, 1, 2, the other hand too. Okay, 1. Nope, that hand goes over there.
This is the circle of trust.
Oh man, thank you guys again so much for watching, and we will see you. What's our tag? We got to come up with our tag. For this.
Gaggle.
Gaggle.
It's that's the end. All right, bye.